House Resolution 1009 has been co-authored by the gentleman and colleagues standing up here with me in recognition of National Crime Victims Week. It's sad that we actually have to take a week to actually recognize crime victims, but it's important that we do that. Each year, over 16,000 individuals here in Oklahoma become the victims of crime. Throughout this session, we've heard numerous victim-related bills. We're at the galleries today. We have Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence. We have the YWCA. We have domestic violence advocates, victims advocates from across the state joining us here today to help recognize this week is National Crime Victims Week. What we encourage you is to take a moment, visit with a victim, talk to a victim, listen to their story, listen to what they go through on a daily basis when this happens to them. If the clerk will please read the resolution.
Clerk will read.
Whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week is April 2nd through the 8th, 2017. And whereas the theme this year for National Crime Victims' Rights Week is Strength, Resilience, and Justice. And whereas advocates believe that all victims deserve equal rights throughout the judicial system. And whereas the rights of victims being pursued aim to provide co-equal protections that are no more and no less than the rights afforded to those accused and convicted of crimes. And whereas consideration, awareness, and a voice for victims are central to the remembrance of victims during National Crime Victims' Rights Week. And whereas according to recently released statistics by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Oklahoma experienced 16,506 violent crimes in 2015. These crimes include 234 murders and non-negligent manslaughters, 1,849 reports of rape, 3,005 robberies, and 11,418 aggravated assaults. And whereas Oklahoma agrees that victims should always be treated with fairness and respect throughout the criminal justice process, protected from the defendant, provided reasonable opportunities to be heard at public proceedings regarding his or her case, and given a voice throughout the process of this case. And whereas National Crime Victims Week serves to recognize the needs of crime victims and those to statewide advocacy organizations that are dedicated to guaranteeing victims' rights. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the first session of the 56th Oklahoma Legislature that the Oklahoma House of Representatives hereby proclaims the week of April 2nd through the 8th, 2017 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. That the Oklahoma House of Representatives will join efforts with advocacy organizations throughout the state of Oklahoma to continue recognizing and supporting victims' rights. That the Oklahoma House of Representatives reaffirms its commitment to help protect the rights of all Oklahoma crime victims year-round. That copies of this resolution be distributed to the Victim Services Unit of the Office of the Attorney General.
The gentleman from Chickasha requests unanimous consent that the resolution be adopted. Without objection, that'll be the order.
Members, if you please recognize the numerous victims and advocates who are here on behalf of their clients and the victims here in the state of Oklahoma. Members, it's also my very distinct privilege, along with Representative Marcus McIntyre and District Attorney Jason Hicks, to have before you the Wiles family. Some of you who've been here before recognize their green shirts. They've been in the gallery for 2 years advocating on behalf of their daughter, their granddaughter, that was brutally murdered and taken from us there in Stevens County. Last year we had the Alyssa Wiles Act that was actually passed. And this family turned the Blue Room green that day for bill signing, having the most people there of any other group. It's my honor and distinct privilege today during National Crime Victims Week to showcase this family and their efforts of what they've done. When you say resilience, strength, justice, that is what this family stands for. They've developed a program to educate other individuals on what happened to their daughter, their granddaughter, and have spent the past year taking that message, taking that voice to students throughout Oklahoma. So it's my distinct privilege, along with Representative Marcus McIntyre, to present a citation to the Wiles family on behalf of all their efforts, not only for their daughter, but for what they do for the individuals here in Oklahoma to make sure this doesn't happen again. If the clerk could please read the citation.
Clerk will read the citation.
Whereas the Wiles family from Duncan, Oklahoma is recognized for their program Always Date Without Violence in memory of their daughter, Alyssa Wiles. And whereas the Wiles family lost their 14-year-old daughter when her ex-boyfriend attacked her. And whereas the Wiles family created the Always Date Without Violence organization, a teen dating platform for the Duncan family to share their story in targeting students Alyssa's age before they find themselves in an abusive relationship that could have been prevented. And whereas the Wiles family works to educate young women and men about teen dating violence by presenting Always Date Without Violence at middle schools and church youth groups, focusing on dating and violence, including statistics, facts, prevention, and their personal story, and by working with women's shelters and participating in and attending events with the YWCA, and whereas it is National Crime Victims Week, and the Wiles family has shown tremendous resilience through their work and passed legislation to honor their daughter. And whereas the Wiles family has made a difference in the lives of many teens, and it is proper and fitting that the Oklahoma House of Representatives, acting on behalf of the citizens of Oklahoma, takes great pride in extending recognition to the Wiles family for such outstanding service. Now, therefore, pursuant to the motion of Representative Scott Biggs, the state of Oklahoma extends to the Wiles family best wishes and directs that this citation be presented.
Representative of the family, you're recognized to say a few words.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for this extreme honor. It's hard work for our family and definitely a tremendous honor to be honored today at the House of Representatives. We continue to share our daughter's story, to keep her memory alive, and to save other ones from suffering the way we have. Victims' rights are very important. So I just ask if someone comes to you, please open your doors and listen to them. We have no rights, and often we're turned away. Please listen to any victim that comes to your office, because it takes a lot of emotional and extreme trauma to come and tell our story over and over again. We will never forget our daughter, and we ask that you please never forget victims. Thank you.